Rock Solid Families wants to thank Casey's Outdoor Solutions for sponsoring the Rock Solid Families podcast. Casey's has grown to be one of the largest and most unique garden centers and gift shops in the Cincinnati tri-state area. Whether you are looking to take on that next landscape project or simply add a little home decor to your house, Casey's has you covered. Located at 21481 State Line Road, Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Call them today at 812-537-3800. Let Casey's help you add beauty to your home. Welcome to Rock Solid Families Podcast. This is Merle Hutchinson, being joined by my lovely but not feeling the best wife, Linda Hutchinson. Are you on the rebound?
I'm on the rebound.
You are on the rebound.
I'm jacked up with Sudafed, Advil, and caffeine, so I'm good. Just a little head cold.
Yeah,
just,
we're not promoting drug use or anything like that here.
Bringing some germs into the new year.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we're going to get right to work today. We are in our new year, of course, and we're talking about getting it started right. And as you listen to us as we closed out 2023, coming into 2024, we are doing shorts, Rock Solid Family shorts. And so we're going to get right to the point. We're going to punch hard, and hopefully this will be something that'll be effective and useful for you guys as you listen to as we progress through this year.
Yeah, so before we start on our topic for today, we want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Casey's Outdoor Solutions and Maxwell Construction for their support of the Rock Solid Families podcast and really the ministry of Rock Solid Families. If we're new to you and you have no idea who we are, we would love for you just to check us out on our website, rocksolidfamilies.org. Or, if we can help you and your family any way as we're talking about these SMART goals for 24, maybe you're feeling stuck, right? Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. We would love to walk alongside you. You can reach out to us at 812-576-ROCK. That's 812-576-7625.
You got it. So far, you're holding up. You're doing really well.
I sound like a horse.
All right, let's get rolling. So, it's the start of the year. We're in that first month. As we record this, we're actually in our first week of January. How many of you have already dropped off on your resolutions and your New Year goals, right?
I haven't started on mine yet. I'm waiting for my head to clear up, then I'll be able to move.
All right. So do you have any that you're thinking of? Besides just your head getting clear?
No, I have some things that I'm shooting for. Yeah. Right. How about you?
Yeah. I don't
want to say them right now because
you've not committed to them yet. Part of what I, always like trying to just be healthier, right? Trying to be healthier, taking better care of the body, reading scripture more or differently or better with a different purpose or intention to it, working on the marriage, working on our kids. All of these things are part of what we do. But that's part of the problem because you can get so many different things that you go, I just want to do better. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about actually how we talk about goals, how we form goals, and then maybe you've at some point in time heard the term SMART goals, SMART goals, which is an acronym that we're going to get into today that help you realize, well, how can I do better at actually achieving what I want to achieve here in 2024?
Yeah, we've talked about SMART goals before. We've written blogs on them and done shows on them before, but we want to kind of give you a real condensed goal setting acronym and help to get really 2024 started the right way. And so this acronym, if you want to get a piece of paper out, again, these shorts are going to be super helpful, super practical. We want to give you some practical tools to really jumpstart 2024. And so get a piece of paper out and start an acronym down the page of SMART, S-M-A-R-T.
You spelled that right. Very good. I always have to check to make sure I'm doing that right. Okay. So with that being said, let's
Yeah.
start with this. Okay, so the S is about being specific.
Yes.
Okay, and so as I just told you, you asked me what some of my goals are. I want to do better at reading and fitness. And
It's not specific.
Yeah, and it's not specific.
No.
It's like, well, yeah, those all come with good intentions, but they come with very little direction and focus. And so being specific is more on the lines like, okay, I want to be healthier. So maybe I'm going to cook healthier meals through the week, and I'm going to use these kinds of ingredients, or I'm going to make sure I cut these ingredients out. And so right off the bat, maybe you're going to go up to your refrigerator, your pantry, and you're going to cut out certain things. Like I'm even going to say, throw them out, get rid of them. Okay. But you're going to be very specific about that one sort of thing that you want to make the change on.
Yeah, that's what you do every January. You take all the candy that's been accumulated over a holiday and all the sugar, and you're like, throw it out, right?
I pitch it.
So you got to be specific, and sometimes we just get so broad, we just kind of have nowhere to shoot, right? If it's the old saying, if you aim for nothing, you're bound to hit it. And so we got to be very specific. That's the S.
All right. Next thing is the M, meaning measurable. Okay, and so. Again, I just said I want to do better, right? And so that idea is, what does that mean? And so putting numbers to things, seeing how we can quantify. So this is where like bathroom scales come into play, right? Where you could actually say, well, I want to lose 10 pounds, and so the scale is going to read this versus this in X number of weeks or months out. And so we're gonna make it measurable. It just can't be a gray sort of direction. We're going to try to make it specific. Maybe you're going to start running, and you're going to say, I want to take my mileage of running up to 10 miles per week. Okay, there you go. Now you've got something that you can measure. You can see how you're progressing through that.
Yeah, one of the things that my goal for 2024 is to read through the Bible again, which I've been doing, but now I'm doing it with a group of women, and we're together being very specific. We purchased a book. We're meeting bi-weekly. We have certain goals every week. It's achievable. It's specific. It's measurable. And so that helps us to kind of see, are we on track, right? Whether it be January or March or May, we can kind of see where are we at in that goal that we set back in January.
All right. Well, and you just used a word that we're going to
Yes,
talk
I
about.
did.
And so that is the achievable. Is it achievable? And this always reminds me of, if you ask little kids what they want to be when they grow up, they always say, well, I want to be a professional NFL football player or something. And those sound good when they come out of, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids. But we have to be realistic, and we have to say, who have we been in the past? Who would we like to be in the future? How far are we away from that in terms of the range? And we want to make things achievable. Listen, if you achieve it early, you can always up the ante, right? And there are people out there that say you should never reach your goals. And I actually understand that. Like, you should shoot them out so far. But they still have to be reasonable to you, okay? They have to make sense to you in terms of what you bring into the game.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, my goal of reading the Bible through with my group, if I have a brand new person who's never opened a Bible before, and I'm saying, I want you to read the whole Bible this year, that's a really hard one for someone who doesn't even know where to begin. And so we want to make it achievable so that they have success.
Right.
We don't want them to get so discouraged that they give up by February, because that's what most people do.
Yeah. All right, so the next thing is relevant. What does relevant mean in this situation? Your goals have to mean something to you. And so this happens a lot of times when people put goals on you. Somebody says, you need to start doing this, okay? And if it doesn't connect with you, if it's like, well, I'm not even interested in doing that, if it doesn't have some sort of connection with you, you're just not going to have your heart in the game. And so it's got to be relevant to you. It's got to align with your values and your priorities in life. And, and if maybe somebody assigns something to you, like you said, read the Bible in a year. Well, if somebody's never even read the Bible, maybe somebody's brand new to their faith and they don't even know if they have a faith yet, then they're going to say, what? Why? All right. So we take people where they are, and then we start to try to make those connections to make them even more relevant.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example when we have clients that come in our office and they just kind of throw their hands hands up, like, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
We'll show them, we'll introduce them to the Bible app. We'll show them how to get the verse of the day so that there's a Bible verse coming into their phone every day. I read that, do a little Bible reading plan that's 5 days or 10 days. Like, that's a great start, but it's relevant to what they want in their time frame. The last one, speaking of time, is time-based or time-bound. In other words, don't just say, I just want to feel better or I want to do better. Like, you're going to have to be specific. You're going to have to be measurable. Make it achievable. Make it relevant to what's important to you. But then put a time frame on it.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to have to put little chunks. Don't just say, by December of 2024, I want to do this.
Right.
You might have to put like monthly goals or weekly goals so that you can kind of keep yourself motivated and kind of on track and accountable.
Yeah, I like to think of this as you're going to reverse engineer it at this point. You're going to say, by the end of 2024, I want to weigh this amount of weight, okay? Well, then, as you just said, well, that's still way too big and vague out there, right? So now I have to back it out by saying, well, how about in 6 months? How about in 3 months? How about in a month? And so now I'm saying, hey, I'd like to lose 2.5 pounds by the end of January. Okay, so these sort of time frames give us shorter vision goals that we can attain and reach a whole lot faster, and just get that success that we're looking for.
I had a client who wanted to start running, and they had never run before, and so they wanted to do a 5K by the end of the year. And so they started off just walking a mile a day.
Right.
And so they would walk a mile, and then they would try to make it under, if it was walking 15 minutes, maybe make it work for like the next week, it would be like a 12-minute mile. And so that way they started just to kind of get a little bit ahead of it. And man, it was such accomplishment for them when they got their first 5K. They felt like, wow, I had reached a goal that I had set, and I worked toward a SMART plan to get to that goal.
Yeah. All right. So guys, those are the SMART goals that we introduced to you starting in 2024. Couple things about them. Guys, it does go all back to the intention. And so sometimes we get wrapped up into, well, I'm going to fail. I never hold to these kinds of things. And so it's not about perfection. Just get the word of perfection out of your mind and go with the idea of my positive intention, all right? And so that helps us, because when you say you might want to read the Bible in a year, and so that may mean that every day you read for a certain amount of minutes or pages or whatever that you broke it down into. And maybe one day you're so busy that you don't even get to it. Way too often people start to miss a day or two, and then it accumulates and they go, oh, what the heck? I fall off the wagon. And so it is the intention. Stay with the whole idea and the concept, because you will still make progress towards the end goal.
Yeah. When I work with a client who feels stuck, we do a personal goal sheet, and we break it down into 8 different areas of their life, whether it be physical, mental, relational, spiritual, intellectual, professional. And so those different areas, I want you to kind of really think about it. Don't try to recreate the wheel all in one time.
Right.
Let's get specific into what's the squeaky wheel. What's the area of your life you feel stuck in? Maybe professionally you're killing it, but relationally you're not. And so just find that area that really would make such a powerful difference if you could change something. And then drill down into something very specific that will help you reach that feeling that you want, because we all have those days where we're feeling stuck, or we're feeling, like there's barriers, but we can bust through them if we really create some SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based goals.
That's a lot of different adjectives there.
That is.
So, guys, as we start to wrap this up, the whole idea of so much success in getting new goals comes from the lifestyle. If you're going to say, I'm just going to do this for a certain amount of time, one of the problems that we see often with weight gain or anything else really is maybe somebody reaches their goal of losing 15 or 20 pounds in a given amount of time. But if they are just doing these techniques and methods to achieve, to hit the target, but then they didn't really make the lifestyle change, research shows that they're going to go back to where they were and oftentimes even worse.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it really, this whole SMART goal thing is the idea of how about what would it look like to work it into a lifestyle? Okay. And so our daughter, she and I were teasing the other day because she's no longer in an organized sport.
That's right.
And so she used to have a coach yelling at her to go work out or run or whatever. And now it has to be her. And I laughed and I said, I remember a time thinking, it just doesn't seem fair that I got in the greatest shape. Why can't I just, once I get there, my body always maintain it for the rest of my life? And it's that idea of just accepting this is a lifestyle you're going to have to accept and take on if you are just going to be in these goals and be in this reality for your lifetime versus that yo-yo dieting.
Yes. So there's two other things that I would encourage you to do if you're ready to set a SMART goal in 2024. One is to write it down. Write it down. Put it somewhere where you're going to see it. You're going to be reminded by it. And then two is to tell somebody else so that you're held accountable, whether it be to a spouse, whether it be to a parent or a sibling. Like, hey, this is a goal of mine, and I'm asking you to ask me about it. Because sometimes we can just make all these ideas up and then it just kind of flies out the window. But if we have it written down and we're held accountable by somebody or something, likely it's going to go better.
Accountability is huge there. All right. So guys, there are your SMART goals, or the pathway to a SMART goal, okay? If there's anything that we can do, a coach is an extremely important part of this. This is the part of that accountability process, Linda, that you were just mentioning. If there's anything that we can do to help, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in fitness, whether it's just in your spiritual walk, please feel free, as Linda said earlier, you reach out to us at 812-576-7625. That is 812-576-ROCK, all right? So let's wrap it up. Let's close out and let's get working on our goals.
Yes, for sure. So thank you so much for listening to the Rock Solid Families podcast, building a stronger community, one family at a time. Make it a great day.
Rock Solid Families wants to thank Maxwell Construction for sponsoring the Rock Solid Families podcast. For over 30 years, Maxwell Construction has been a leader in turning dreams into realities, building schools, banks, restaurants, and many other commercial and public facilities. Maxwell Construction has made it their priority to not just build buildings, but to build into their community. So if you have any construction needs, call them at 812-537-2200.